Well, we're in a series, lesson 4 out of 5, and today we are looking at the intersection of life and faith. And if you'd like to follow along in the notes that are provided in the program for you, you can fill in the blanks if you'd like to. This is about the story of one of the greatest kings that ever lived, and that is David. It's a 5-week series. Today is week number 4, as I mentioned. The first week we talked about God's dubious choice, the unlikely choice of choosing David as a king in the first place, and this storyline continues. Of course, then we talked about killing your giants, and one of the things that catapulted David into the limelight, so to speak, as a very young man, was as a result of him facing Goliath and hearing the threats of Goliath and deciding to do something about that. And so following that, we looked at responding to betrayal, the relationship between David and Saul. And R.C. did an excellent job last week in sharing that subject with us. Today we're talking about 2 true friendship characteristics, patterned after the life of David and Jonathan. Next week is actually Mother's Day. We will be honoring any of our mothers who are here and be talking about the legacy of Ruth, which was that was David's grandmother. And so that's what we'll be celebrating then. Today, though, the friendship of true friendship characteristics, the life of David and Jonathan. I want to say, as I get started with this message today, that there's no doubt that the relationship between David and Jonathan was a very unique relationship. When you look in a lot of the pro-gay theology that's out there, you'll actually see a lot of writers, or several authors anyway, that want to suggest that there was a romantic connection between David and Jonathan. And what I just want to say is there's no evidence in Scripture to actually verify that. Their relationship was unique and special, and we're going to talk about the uniqueness of it. But I just want to say, while we can imagine all kinds of things might have been true about their connection, there is nothing in Scripture to completely suggest or irrevocably suggest that there was any type of relationship between them that was other than a relationship of friendship. So it is within the context of the story of Saul's jealous rage that we talked about last week against David that we see the evidence of the love that had formed between Jonathan and David. So I want to begin by reading the story. 1 Samuel 20, beginning with verse 1, this is David speaking to Jonathan after, again, Saul's assault against him. He asks, "What have I done? What is my crime? And how have I wronged your father that he is trying to kill me?" Jonathan replies, "Never. You are not going to die. Look, my father doesn't do anything great or small without letting me know. Why would he hide this from me? It isn't so," is what Jonathan was saying and believing. The Scripture continues by saying, "But David took an oath and said, 'Your father knows very well that I have found favor in your eyes. And he has said to himself, Jonathan must not know this, or he will be grieved. Yet, as surely as the Lord lives, and as you live, there is only a step between me and death.'" Jonathan does come to believe and understand that his father is trying to kill David, and they both come to understand and know that the only way David can be rescued from this situation is if he leaves, if he flees for his life. As the story unfolds, and in the exchange between David and Jonathan, we see characteristics that are worth emulating in our relationships, in our friendships. And so I want to talk about them today. First of all, the first characteristic is I love you as I love myself. And verse 17 says, Jonathan loved David as he loved himself. And also in 1 Samuel 18, verses 1 and 3, that same exact verse is duplicated. So 3 times it is stated in these few verses that Jonathan loved David as he loved himself. And one must ask the question, what is the origin of this kind of love? We look at young love, and how many remember, go back into the deep crevices of that aging mind of yours. And remember that very first time that you saw someone and you thought, do you remember? Yeah. See, it's very much on our minds because there's nothing quite like that experience. And sometimes I attribute the power of that young experience to the fact that we are just that. We are young.